plastic surgery. You definitely don't. You do not need to go get that lip filler. You don't need a new butt, and you don't need a new boobs. My boobs got so botched, now they're permanently scarred because of my boob jobs, and I will go into that in a different TikTok. And now I have to live with that mistake for the rest of my life. So just take it from me, who's already made the mistakes. Don't touch yourself.
First of all, let's just address the elephant in the room, the AI avatar, okay? This is just my image that I decided to use so that it can talk, or I can talk through it, because right now I'm facing the first trimester drama and it's just a lot and it's difficult for me to be put together for a video. So guys, bear with me. First trimester is not easy. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about.
Woo! I'm going through it, bitch. I'm losing my motherfucking medulla.
So in this video, we're going to be talking about the reality of getting a BBL. So women go under this cosmetic surgery for different reasons. Some, they do it to keep a man. Like I heard somebody say they did it to keep a man, and others, they do it to feel good in their bodies. Others, they just do it because it's a trend that is going on. But these women that we're going to see today are just regretting having to go through this surgery, and some, they say it's not worth it. So we're going to be talking about that. If you like this video, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And without further ado, let's get straight into this video.
I actually regret getting my BBL sometimes. So I got a BBL back in 2021 in the middle of the pandemic, and the reason why I say I hate it sometimes is because the way that it's shaped is a little, I don't know. Don't get me wrong, like the body still be a little T a little bit, but in certain stuff it's giving real boxy. And I don't know, like I guess this is for like most people anyways. Like it ain't even just people with BBLs. Like if you just have a certain shape, certain things you're just not gonna look good in, you know. And then like my expectation, like I don't know exactly what I expected myself to look like. Like I wasn't even shaped like what I thought I was gonna look like. Not only that, but like the weight gain, like when you get your body done and you realize that like you really you start doing certain things, thinking, drinking and eating certain things that you feel like you couldn't have done before because your body already where you needed to be. But it catches up with you, and it catches up with you fast. After a year, like I was over 200 pounds. No, I'm dragging it. I wasn't 200 pounds. I was probably like 185, but that's close enough to me. I don't know. I feel like I can get more into detail, but those are just some of the reasons.
Another question that I have gotten many times is, do I have any regrets? I have a lot of them, and I'm going to tell you why. One of them, and I know you guys are going to be like, what, is the BBL. I really wish I never did it, because as soon as you gain weight, that's the first place your fat is gonna go to. Well, for me, I'm not really a huge fan of a huge booty on me because my frame is not too big, but my weight does fluctuate. Like I can go from 160 to 189. I was 189 last year, but my butt got huge at one point to where I was kind of like, I don't like this. So I started to eat better and exercise, but it's mainly your eating. So I had to like control my eating because this thing was getting really big. As of now, it's not too bad because you guys can't really see. It's not too bad because my eating is kind of like pretty good right now, I can say, and I've been exercising, but if I don't, it's a wrap. This thing is real big, and to me it looks unrealistic. Another thing I regret is getting lipo in my arms. Let me show you why. You see those two marks? Those are two lipo holes. Like at first, actually this one was a keloid, but I've been going to the dermatologist and he's been like injecting, I think, steroids in them. Yeah, I don't know. He's been injecting something in them to make them smaller. But yes, those are my two regrets. So lipo in your arms and a BBL. I personally recommend, if you already got like a cute little bump back there, just keep it. Like, you don't really need nothing too big. But if you got like a super, you know, flat butt and you just want something a little more voluptuous, yeah, go for it, or whatever look you're going for. But for me, I regret it. It's cute now, but guess what? If I was to eat Wingstop for a month and pancakes every morning and drink, it's nasty to me. On me, it just looks too much. So yeah, talk to your doctor and see what they recommend, but those are my regrets.
Bitch, sometimes I regret my BBL, and don't get me wrong, I love a fat ass, bitch. I love a big fat ass that jiggles when it walks. I love it. But the trend is now skinny, itty mini tiny, okay? And I want to hop on that, bitch. I love an itty mini tiny queen. Like, it just everything looks so classy and elegant, you know what I mean? So now, bitch, I'm running at the gym, I'm eating salads, and I look at my ass and I'm just like, this shit is humongous. And like, sometimes no one talks to you about like how embarrassing it is having a BBL, bitch, because you're walking around and like your ass is fat, you know what I mean? So people are just like, whether they're like, what the fuck, or what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, people are looking. Like, you catch people looking all the time, and it's like embarrassing. So you just end up like, I don't know, just kind of embarrassed to have one. Which, okay, I still love it, and I'm still gonna be itty mini tiny with a fat ol' ass. But I'm just saying, like, just think twice. I'm just rambling, but just think twice, bitch, if you want to get a BBL, because like, it's there, bitch. It's there, and it's like, unless you're getting it liposuctioned out, which I guess you can do, working it off it's a hard job. It is.
Let me tell you about my biggest regret as a young adult. So my biggest regret as a young adult would have to be my BBL. So let's talk about it. I made the rash decision at the good age of 19 to get my body done. I had been seeing a bunch of Instagram models, and I already felt like, you know, my body was shaped funny. I had a square build with big boobs, and I didn't like it. So I started saving up my money. I didn't have any responsibilities. I only had a car payment and a phone bill, so it didn't take me too long. I put my booty on a payment plan. That's how you know it was a rash decision. The first year that I had it, I was obsessed. Nobody could tell me nothing. I loved it. And guess what happened to me? I got pregnant. So I gained weight. And what they don't tell you is, when you gain weight, you could become a little disproportionate. During and after my pregnancy, my badonk grew, and it wouldn't stop. It was laughable. And then after I had my son, obviously still big, it didn't go down. Everything but the booty went down. Rightfully so, I was upset. So I lost 30 pounds. I thought, okay, well, if it looked normal before, I can get it back to where it was if I just lose some weight. No, you now have stomach fat in your hips and booty. So guess what that means? It grows and acts like stomach fat. So I lost 30 pounds, and did it go down drastically? Yes. Does it look better? Yes. But it still looks funky. It is the last thing to go. I might be able to do 5-10 more pounds, but then I'm risking losing weight in my legs and just it's still looking disproportionate. Our bodies are not trends. Do not fall for that trap. Not just a BBL, but anything that alters you. To take a second to research, to rethink, give it 5 months, 6 months, sit on it and think, and if you still really just want to have it, maybe then go for it. Because what a lot of people don't understand is a BBL has got to be maintained, because it can go from looking real good to real off with or without a child if you gain weight.
So now I will forever be battling with this thing. If I gain weight, if I lose weight, it doesn't matter. So all I can do right now is focus on building my legs to try to get it to match. Don't be like me. And I know you guys are probably wanting to see my panties before anybody says anything, but I have overhang. Used to just kind of be like bumpy, which it was like that before I had surgery, so it didn't bother me, but now that it kind of hangs off, I don't fuck with it. And then yeah, it's Ant's life, because it don't match. So if you're thinking about seeing me in public and posting me to these BBLs killing y'all, I already know. You don't have to do that. I know it looks bad. I know it does.
So I got a BBL last month, and this is how I ended up in the emergency room and ICU. So I'm not making this video to scare anybody. I'm doing this purely for informative purposes and to kind of let you know what this all procedure involves and to give you a different perspective on it. And I want to start off by saying I don't necessarily regret what I did. I just wish it didn't turn out this way, because I do love my results, and I don't like to say I regretted I did something when I 100% wanted to do it in the first place. Okay, so where do I even start? Okay, so let's start with pre-op. So I get down to Miami the day before pre-op. I go into pre-op, everything's good, the vibe is good. I meet the doctor. He's very realistic in what he can do for me. I had a major weight loss in the past, so I had some extra skin, so he was just telling me that this may or may not retract. You have to see because you are pretty young. So and that we were just going to fill in my butt, but not too much because the skin wasn't loose enough to just jam pack it with fat, and to also fill in my hip dips. I also had a vision board that I showed him that was pretty realistic because I do have wide hips and thick thighs, so I know I have a pretty good foundation whether we wanted to go natural or vixen, but the results ended up looking pretty natural, but with a little bit, with a little bump, a good amount of bump. Anyways, okay, all that's good. I pay, I get the stuff that I need, and then the next day is the day of surgery. So the day of surgery, I had to be there, I believe, like 6 a.m. No, I was there like 5 a.m. Like, it wasn't even open by the time I got there. We were waiting outside. I met some pretty cool girls in the room. Well, she's really a lady. She's really like 40. We were just talking about the different procedures that we were having. It was all good vibes. I'm getting nervous. I'm trying to conceal it as much as possible. I'm just looking at pictures of my family and my pets to calm me down. You know, stuff I love just to make me feel more relaxed. I go back, we do the drug test, the pregnancy test that's required to make sure you're not going under anesthesia, pregnant, or with drugs in your system. The doctor comes and he marks me up, and then we just talk about my results again. He, again, just being realistic about the results to expect, which okay, fast forward, I have the procedure. The anesthesiologist, all of them are just being really cool. I go in, walk into the room, lay down. Then I just knock out, boom. I didn't even graduate, it was just boom. And then I remember waking up on my back and I had to flip over to my stomach. I was in a lot of pain. I was shaking because the room was super cold. Even the nurses were saying, no, it's okay to be cold. And I remember just being like, hello, hello. I was just like, nurse, like I was trying to get the nurse. I was like, is it normal to be shaking? Is it normal to have a high blood rate? Or is it normal to have a high heart rate? But all that stuff was normal right after. And I remember I was bleeding a lot. I lost a lot of blood to the point where they had to put an extra doggy pad in my faja because I was just dripping so much. Honestly, I was ready to go home. I wasn't trying to dilly-dally in that operation room when people try to kick you out. Yes, please kick me out, because I wanted to go home and get the painkillers that they prescribed me, because I was in excruciating pain. Honestly, that might have been one of the most painful things in my life. And I know it's different for everyone. Some people say they just have discomfort. No, I was in pain. I finished all the medicine that they gave me, the hydrocodone, and I even feel like it wasn't even strong enough. It was really the lipo part. It wasn't even the butt part. It was the lipo, because it's just a lot of trauma. And that is going to go into how I ended up in the ER. Okay, so I remember going home. I don't know if I went to sleep. No. Oh my gosh. I was in so much pain. I couldn't even lay on my stomach. I remember going to the bathroom. I was squatting down on my hands and knees like in doggy style because I just could not lay on my stomach. I was in so much pain, and God bless my friend. Like, I was just bleeding everywhere. The friend that I was staying with, she was really an angel. She was feeding me. I couldn't do a lot. You're literally like disabled at this point. You just cannot move. You're not mobile enough. So she was feeding me food like with a fork so I could eat and take my medicine. And I believe I did go to sleep after taking melatonin. I can't really remember if I slept that day, like right away, because I was just a lot. Anyways, okay, so fast forward to the next day. That's your post-op appointment, and you go in to just make sure everything's okay, all your incisions, just to check up with the doctor. So I go in, I start crying when I get to the building. I don't know if it's just an emotional thing or a pain thing, but I start just bawling. I walk into the waiting room. All the girls are looking at me like, oh my God, they were just so worried. I was like the only one crying. I just looked a mess, hair's a mess, but it's fine. Like, that's expected. And then I go back, I get totally undressed so the doctor to come and see me. He says everything looks okay. You look good. That loose skin may retract. It was a pretty brief interaction, but overall was good. I'm going to get into the more in detail stuff. I'll make a YouTube video later about like the massages and stuff like that, but I'm just focused on the ER part right now. Okay, so some days go by. I'm in pain, but I feel okay the first couple of days. And it's probably like that third or fourth day where I just don't start feeling okay. And I believe this is primarily due to all the blood that I lost. My hemoglobin was at a 15 going in, which is pretty good. The average is like 11, 12, maybe even 13. 15 was pretty high for hemoglobin. That was good going in. So just keep that in mind. So I'm very shaky, weak, faint, dizzy, lightheaded these next couple days. Even to the point where my massage therapist came and I started crying and I was like, I just want to cancel. Like, I don't feel good. And she didn't really speak English. So we had to call her boss. And then I was just like, I don't feel good. Please, can we just reschedule or something? She's like, well, you're going to have to forfeit your massage. You can't do another one if you cancel this one. So I was like, okay, well, if I just feel bad, could we stop? She's like, of course, honey. So I was just like, okay, let's just do it. And the massage was fine. But anyways, okay, like fast forward, I believe I had a post-op appointment 5 days later, and I go in and my heart rate's like standing, it's like 140. And that's really bad. Like, my average heart rate was like 70, 80 before the procedure. 140 is like I'm exercising, I'm working out. That's really high. That's tachycardia. And the nurse said it was okay, that it could just be a response to the trauma that happened to my body, but it turned out to not be okay. And maybe that's the case for other people, but for me, it just didn't get any better. So I leave Miami, I go back home, and I believe this was day 8 or 9, I start to develop a fever. And I'm looking at all my incision sites. None of them are red, swollen, or indicating any type of infection. So I thought, okay, maybe it's just like a flu. Maybe I contracted COVID. Maybe it's just regular virus, because it's also flu season. So I waited a day. It doesn't get better. So I go in the next day to the ER. And honestly, they were very good. The hospital that I went to treated it very seriously. Like, because post-op infections, if you get an infection and it gets into your blood, it could be this thing called sepsis, and then your organs can start to shut down. It could just be a whole mess. So I get to the ER, we're doing blood work. They can't get an IV on me. 2 people got to come in because my veins are not very visible. If you could see, they're not very visible, so it could be hard to get an IV on me sometimes. They were just taking blood. Also, another thing that made me go to the hospital, I had a seroma right here, and it was really hurting when I pressed on it, and it was red and swollen, so I thought that may be an infection. We do a CAT scan. It turns out I had cellulitis on my skin, so they wanted to admit me to the main ER so that they could drain it and do a biopsy on it with the intravenous doctors. And they also put me on sepsis alert because there was a possibility that I could have had an infection, because the labs that came back, my inflammation markers were extremely high, and we were waiting for they had to also send some other blood work to the lab for it to grow to see if there's any type of infection, but they didn't know yet, so we just treated it like it could have been sepsis. So fast forward, we're waiting for me to get transmitted to the main hospital, because the one I went to was like a little extension of the hospital. It wasn't the main big hospital, if you know what I mean. So we're waiting hours and hours, then I gotta get transported in an ambulance, by the way. So the EMTs come, they put me on the bed. Oh, and mind you, I'm on my stomach this whole time, because even though I was in the hospital, I was not gonna mess up my results. And also, not that it hurt so bad to be on my butt. Like, I thought it was gonna pop like a pimple, like. I had to be on it for the CAT scan, and I had to lay on my back for the CAT scan. It hurt really bad, so I knew I couldn't be in the hospital on my butt, and I was not messing up my results either. I came this far. I didn't come this far just to come this far. Anyway, so they put me on the bed. I'm in the ambulance. That was my first time being a rider in the ambulance. They admit me, when we get to the main hospital, they put me in the ER because they're waiting on a room to get admitted, to actually admit me, to get my own private room, which was nice, by the way, really nice. So we're waiting in the ER. That was a whole mess. So I'm running out of time, so if you want me to do a part 2, just like and comment.
Things I wish a BBL girl would have told me before I got my body done. One would be that when you gain weight, you gain weight drastically where they put fat to. 2 would be if you don't take care of yourself and you don't work out, your butt will get so big to where it kind of like goes over your thigh. So it makes you look like a little wisdom tooth, like more hip and then your legs. 3 would be that when you get cellulite, it's going to be so hard to lose it. 4 would be that if you don't maintain your butt, it will start to sag. Next would be that you have to really stay on top of your faja, because if you don't, everywhere that they've got fat from will start looking kind of warped. I don't know if you guys have seen it, where when girls gain weight, their stomach starts to poke out, but they have like the ab sketching and it still like looks weird. That will happen, where your belly is getting big, but you have like abdomen, like abs on the front, if they do that to you. Also, I wish when I got my breast done, they would have told me the importance of under the muscle and over the muscle, because since I was much younger and I haven't had kids, I would have preferred to do it under the muscle compared to where I'm at now. I highly advise anybody that wants to get their body done, especially the young girls, to wait until your woman body comes in. Your woman body doesn't come in until like 26, 27. When you're 21, 22, 23, you're still like at your prime. Enjoy your small breast. Enjoy a more petite body. Because once you get it done, it is so hard to undo everything. And also, I would say that society's beauty standards always change. And I had my own reasonings as to why I did what I did. And I look back now and understand the insignificant reasons as to why I did it. And I wish someone would have told me just wait. So I'm giving y'all like all the pros and cons. The only pros, I would say, it's aesthetically pleasing, right? If you're really, really, really insecure about something, I would say yes, fix it. But I wouldn't advise to do it if it's just petite and small. Don't do it. I would say do it if, let's say, you lost a lot of weight and you have a lot of excess skin and you really want to perk it up. Do it. Because I understand like some people suffer from like childhood obesity or things like that. But I highly, highly suggest all the girlies to stay away from getting your body, because now I find myself having to undo everything that I once got when I was 23, about to be 24. I am now 28, and I see myself and I'm thinking like, I really didn't have to touch my body. Had I just waited and worked out, I would have never touched my body. I would have enjoyed my small breast. I would have tried to build up my bum a bit more, because I wasn't lacking. I just wanted my hip dips filled. But thing is, once they start putting fat into it that belongs somewhere else, those fat cells live, and when you gain weight, everything gains weight. And me, I had messed up because I had gotten it during COVID time. So what happened? We stayed in, we were eating, drinking. I gained weight drastically. And I was also in a relationship where we were eating all the time. So know that, guys, okay? I'm being as transparent as I possibly can on this TikTok.